No, I think that people need to hear in the season is the importance of gathering information and restraint. And what I mean by that, because there's so much going on in our world, there's so much information being thrown out there that you can kind of get lost in the shuffle on what's true, what is real, and what is not. And in order to go towards a goal or any goal in life, you got to have clear direction of what that means. But if you kind of just kind of shoot for the from the hip without getting all the information behind what you're trying to do and the climate that you're trying to do it in, you can kind of make some missteps there. And so, just to kind of dive more deeply into what I'm talking about, even if we just stop on the street of what I call the Great Reset, right? This pandemic that we're going through right now in our world. Uh, there's a lot of information that's going on out there, and it can leave you kind of paralyzed because you don't know what is true or what is false. So you don't know how easy it is to catch it. You don't know what is the necessary, responsible thing to kind of prevent yourself from catching it or spreading it. Besides what you've heard thus far, and those are contradicting points in itself. But what I will just ask people to do is just to kind of do research yourself. Kind of go to your old school mentality, right? Which is if you hear something, go and investigate the who, what, when, and why of what that problem is. And then once you start to gather all the evidence together and you start to pit them against each other, with the facts of the actual situation, you'll be able to make better decisions and better responses. And so it reminds me of what the Word of God says, which is that people lack because of people, they suffer because of the lack of knowledge. And in this season, I feel like there's a lot of people that are suffering in quiet because of the stay-at-home order. And it's because they just don't know what to do in this season. So they don't understand the implications of what it means to socially isolate yourself and how to go about still maintaining social life in the midst of it. And those are things that I would like to encourage people to do. That you still need to go out there as much as you possibly can to get some fresh air, to remind yourself that things are well in your world and that you are still alive and that the world is still turning. Learning how to connect, via video and understanding how to use different streaming platforms to be able to connect yourself. I think that's very important as well. I also think it's important for you to just take your time out and just to research what a virus is and what the coronavirus and the COVID-19 really is, so that you can have a better idea of how to navigate it. And especially in the times that we're in right now, where you have some states that are open, some towns that are open, some counties that are open versus some that are not. How do you navigate that season to make it work for your good? And this is the good news about everything, is that even in the midst of this, there are needs that are still going to need to be met that's going to help you on the other end of this pandemic. So research the questions and the concerns that people have right now in the pandemic, and maybe that will be the thing that you can use to your benefit when it comes to trying to make a living after the pandemic is over with. But in all, count it all joy, because when there's many problems like this, right, it only makes you stronger, but it also gives you more opportunities to be successful and to go out there and to solve problems, because that is the key to true wealth, which is how well are you at solving problems.